Hey there, future architects and design enthusiasts. Welcome to this channel. This channel is where creativity meets technology. If you've ever dreamed of mastering ArchiCAD to bring your architectural visions to life, you are in the right place. Today, we are going to go straight into the essentials of drafting and modeling, all in one of the most powerful tools in the industry. So grab your coffee. I'm actually getting my water now. Get a sketchbook or just let your curiosity come up. Let's get started right away. Okay, first thing first. ArchiCAD is a game changer, right? You know that? For architects, it's known for its BIM capabilities. It is seamless and it can help you draft easily. If you also want to go into modeling, it's going to help you model fantastic features. So this software is all about efficiency, and it will boost your creativity. Today we'll focus on two main areas: drafting precision and creating detailed 3D models. Yep. Okay, so if you are ready, let's dive in straight. This is ArchiCAD interface. So as you can see it will help you in doing a lot of things. So check out what you find in the screen. Follow my cursor. Let's begin by setting up your workspace. Go to your work environment. All right? Fine. If you have done that, then you are in order. You see what we have in the ArchiCAD interface. Once you launch it open, you'll see welcome to ArchiCAD 23, getting started. But that's not just all enough. You need to understand that you have to create a project. Is it a team project or is it a standalone? But I will always say create new, because this video is going to focus on the standalone, right? Okay, so having said that, let's keep going. All right, so I'll launch the new here, and when you launch the new, you have a dialog setting that tells you new project. So you are to create a new project from either a template. Most times, in fact, usually it has to be a template, either the one that you've preset or the one that is default. ArchiCAD 23 has a default template that you can use, so we choose the default template which comes with this. And the next step is for you to set your work environment, or rather work environment profile. We have not saved any one, so we take the default profile. So you can go ahead and say okay. Now once this opens, we are going to begin with setting up our workspace. So it's opening now, so you can do that by going to your work environment, which is under options menu. Now for you to get a clear understanding, we have in this interface at the top bar here is the menu, and by the side here is your toolbox, and there is one other one that is also very important, which will be by the left side, and it's not enabled here, so I'm going to open it up for it to pop up, and it is called the navigator or project map. So let's open up the navigator. So I show my navigator, and the navigator carries all the information that I will require for my floor plans, for my elevations, worksheets, 3D views and all those things, as well as documentation. So now we've got this open, and this is called the model space. If you have got this in your system, if you have not got it, fine, pay attention and you follow it step by step. I'll do it in a way that you will be able to follow each of the steps. So fine. Now I say for you to set your work environment, you need to go to Options menu. So you get to Options, and where else the next step is to move down to your, I would set my work preferences first. For my work preferences, depending on the location where you are, whether you're using the metric scale or you're using the linear scale, this is where you can set those preferences to suit the kind of measuring system that you use. So for where I am operating from, I use the metric scale, which leads me down here. So we would go to our working unit. It's in millimeters, right? That's the lowest unit of measurement that we use for metric, millimeters. So you see most of the features that we'll be doing. Our walls will be in millimeters. Our spaces will be in millimeters. Our area will now be measured in square meters, right? If that's clear. So let's go ahead. So now, millimeters, you also have the option of changing it to the other section, which you can choose inches, you can choose fractions, you can choose feet, but we are using millimeters here. So for area, square meters, you can also choose square feet depending on your location. So as it applies to you, that's what you will choose. For volume, yes, volume is in cubic meters if we will need to do that, but in this video we will not need to go to volumes at the moment. So this is where you do all the settings, and when you're done with it, you say okay. So I click on OK. And another aspect is the work environment. You can set it here. You can bring out the palette and the tools that you may need to use here. But mind you, we already have our basic toolbox, and I don't think we really need any much more here. The default is enough for you to get started. So fine, that's okay. What's next in the key? Remember that there are shortcuts that are being used in ArchiCAD. From ArchiCAD, wherever I started using ArchiCAD when ArchiCAD was in 6.5, and I used ArchiCAD 6.5, ArchiCAD 7. I progressed through till ArchiCAD. Now we are in ArchiCAD, if not 28, but I'm using 23 now to express this. I've gone through the ranks of using ArchiCAD since 2003. So that's been a very long time. And how many years ago? That's 22 years of using ArchiCAD. So trust me, you're in the right place. Okay, now for you to draw, remember that this tool will not do automatic design for you. So you as an architect or an architecture enthusiast or whatever role you are in the industry, the design first needs to be done by an architect so that it will meet the basic requirements of planning. So that design could be in a sketch form, and this tool will help you draft it and model it. So I always recommend that if you are in the study of architecture, if you are doing anything related to architecture, ensure that you marry drafting, sketching with digital drafting and modeling, so that your output will be quite competitive with what is obtainable globally. All right, that being said, we are going to bring in the drawing where we want to draft, and it is in Sketch. How do you get that done? Remember that drawing must have been pre-sketched, and possibly you must have scanned it and put it into your system. That's the only way you can bring it into this interface. So let's get going so that we can get the drawing out into the interface. Straight up. there are different tools, as I mentioned. We have the wall tool, the door tool, the window tool, and all this. So, but let's go to the tool that will help us bring that into it. The tool is under More on your tool box, and you'll find at the bottom, last but one, figure 2. You click on it. If you click on figure 2 once, you won't find anything, but if you double click, it will take you to a dialog setting. Now we are in that default figure setting where it tells you that you can open, and if I'm to open here, it will ask for the location. Now for my own location, I saved it under my document into the PC and in the file called ArchiCAD lesson. So let's move down there. So you move to ArchiCAD lesson, and if you double click on ArchiCAD lesson, you will find the sketch plan for tutorial, and I click it depending on where you saved yours. Okay, that is already there and it is not scaled, but remember in my sketch I had dimensions, so I'm not just going to trace over this. I'm going to set it out based on the dimensions that we provided. So okay, and I have it now in my clipboard. I click on this. So if I click on it, it's already there. So now we have the sketch on our model space or our workspace. Let's call it that. In this workspace, you can draw, but remember, everything that you are doing here it can be seen in other interfaces, in other views, especially if you are using parametric tools, which is not only two-dimensional but has the property of 2-dimension and 3-dimension. Like if you come to design, the tools under design here are the wall tool, which we are going to use to draw the walls of the building. And we have the door tool, which we are going to insert the doors into the walls as is in the sketch. And we have the window tool, which we are also going to insert windows into the walls as is in the sketch. We have opening tool. You can also use it to insert openings. Then we have the column tool. So if you had a column in your design, you will also use it to insert. So even though the sketch doesn't have, but as we proceed, we'll see what we can do. And we have the beam tool. You can also use it where you need to extend and add beams. Then we have the slab tool. Very important. You need it for your slab. Then we have the stair tool. If we are doing a story building at any point in time, we will require this. And we have the railing tool, which also you use it to, insert rails where you need them. And we have the roof tool. So you see all the different tools that we have. So I hope you're following. If you're following and you like this video, go ahead and hit a thumbs up and drop a comment immediately. And if you have not subscribed, this is a good time for you to subscribe to this channel as we proceed. Now, we also have the shell tool. If you are doing shells, you can put that. But you see, as I said earlier, in this video, we are going to dwell on just what we need for this sketch. Now, we also have skylight and curtain wall and morph tool. Morph is very dynamic, and I'll show you some clips in the next video of what I was able to use morph to do. Then you have object. In the objects, that's where you have your furniture, that's where you have your sanitary ware, that's where you have your accessories and all those things that will make the building and the space look very fantastic. We have the zone tool, where you can use to zone and put the properties of each zone, which will help you in documentation. So we'll touch all these in subsequent videos. And we have the mesh tool. Mesh tool, you can use it to do your landscape, and it's quite interesting. So after that, which are all inclusive in the design tool, in the design toolbox, we can also check our documents toolbox, which consists of dimensions, and linear dimension tool, we have level dimension tool, we have the text tool, which you use in annotation. We also have label tools that you can also use in annotations. We have the fill tool, we have the line tool. Now trust me, all these ones that you've seen here are two-dimensional elements. So things that you find here, there are some of them that you may find them relative to other levels, but they are actually two-dimensional. Then we have arc or circle tool, and we have the polyline. You see, okay, so you have a polyline, and you have the drawing tool, you have a section tool, you have the elevation tool, and you have the interior elevation tool, and you have the worksheet. So worksheet is used in a way that once you have finished modeling and you want to add more details that are two-dimensional, you can come to your worksheet and do those things. Now we also have our detail tool, so you can snap a point and give more details. So you see how robust the software is. It has everything that you need for the industry as long as you are in the practice of architecture. Great. So we move down to the next one. You remember that there's always room for revision when you do drawings. Your clients would say, I want it to change. So you also have the change tool, which handles revisions. Great. So we move to the next one, that is more. That will show you your grid elements. So you can have grid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go. So I think we'll try to impute some of these ones. And we have the wall end tool. So you want to close your wall end, you have a tool for that. You have a corner window, you can also insert that. You have a light lamp tool or a lamp tool. Yes, you can also insert your lamp. Then you have radial dimension, you have the spine tool, you have the hotspot, and you have the figure tool, where we use to import or bring in this sketch into our workspace. And we also have the camera tool. This will help you to view your three-dimensional work the way it would be. Okay, now let's move straight down to this one that we never mentioned, the selection tool. What does it do? The arrow tool will help you in selection. If I click on this arrow tool, I can easily select this. Anything I click on after clicking the selection tool could be selected like this, like this. But if you want to select multiple things, you can use the shortcut of holding your shift down and click every item that you want to select, whether the arrow tool is up or not. We also have another one called the marquee. Marquee tool can, if you select the marquee tool, you can create a marquee over what you want to select, and it will come with you. So you see that anything that is within the marquee, if you do a Control A, it will all be selected. So that's great. Now what's next? Let's move straight up to drafting. Straight up, having gotten this preamble. Now we have this drawing. So I hold my shift down and I drag it, Control D. I drag it out from the space where I want to draw, but I have to keep it closer so that I see what I'm sketching. Remember I told you that this sketch had dimensions. So then we move down to our wall tool, where we are going to use to do the drawing. We select on the wall. The wall has properties, and if you double click on it, the wall tool, it will take you to an interface where you need to set those properties. Geometry and positioning. You click on it and you see the wall type. But before we do that, let's do something quite interesting. When you are doing your drawing, you understand that there are different levels where the building situates. We have the exterior level, which is your site level, assumed grade level. You don't know what it is. So I take that to be my 0, because elevations progress. anything that is under grade will be negative, but as long as it is on the grade, grade is our reference point 0. So here we have our 0 as ground floor, so I'm not going to take it as ground floor, so I'm going to change it. So I go to settings and I come to ground floor, change it to site level. Remember to name it the way you want your floor plan to, the way you want it to appear on your plan. So if I name it assume grade, so I'm going to do site, it will call my site assume grade. So I'm calling this site plan level or site level, whichever. Site plan level. All right, and that is the external wall, right? Or sorry, the external level. And the height from our exterior to where we will have our ground floor, which is our level 1, is what? 600. So we are doing that so that if there is increase in water level at the exterior, we will not have issue of water flooding into the building. So 600 is appropriate, and you see that the elevation is beginning to change. So it means that 1, which is going to be our ground floor level. Ground floor. Are you with me? Okay, we have this as a ground floor level, and the height to that, to the next point, which is likely our ceiling for a bungalow, is 3 meters to the surface of the ceiling. So that is 300 millimeters. Can you see this? Okay, next is the ceiling level. So we call this ceiling room level. The RL is the room level. And from that point to next, you don't know how high the ceiling will be, but let's create the next story. So we insert a story above, and this story is going to be our what? Our top of roof level. Rooftop level rather. Will I call it rooftop level? No, roof plan level. Okay, great. Whichever way you want to name it, it can always be renamed. And mind you, these elevations will be adjusted in due course, because you don't know the angle and the height by the time you're setting your roof. So at this point, we leave it here and we say, okay, this part is set. And you see what happened automatically. Everything here has been changed, and the last level where you were is where your roof plan is. So you can come down to ground floor level, and if you come down to ground floor level, you find that you cannot see your sketch anymore because it was in level 0. So we go down to level 0 and pick up that by selecting and cutting it. So how do you cut? Control what? Control X, and it's been cut. And you come to the ground floor plan and you can paste it back by saying Control V, and it's pasted, and you click out, and that's done. So quickly we move over to drawing our walls. I mentioned that your wall has to be set, so you can use the default settings here, or you can change your default settings. So for us to do that, we are using single walls. The first one option here is straight walls, the second one is continuous, and the third one is selecting it as a block, or rather as a rectangle, while this other one is isometric. You take one end and project it to the other end. Let me give you an instance here. For this, you use it this way and you can stop. For the second one, it can be continuous. So okay, and the third one, which are the different geometries, you can click on this, and that's how it behaves. And the fourth one, it behaves this way. Okay, so I believe you understand that. So we are going to use the first option here, and taking up on the first option, we need to set our center to center because our sketch dimensions were centers. So we take a center one, and the type of the wall is not composite, it's just single block wall. So we take up that, and we set the thickness. How do we get the thickness? We come to the dialog setting and change it from 300 to, what did our sketch say we should do? It said we should have 150. So let's show you this clearly. Right, this is the information on the sketch. The sketch said wall thickness is 150 millimeters. Remember that we had set our preferences for measurements to be millimeters. So everything we are going to be doing here, we'll use millimeters to work on because that's what we set as our working preference. Then the room doors is at 900 millimeters. Our toilet doors is at 750 millimeters, while the kitchen door is at 900 millimeters. So we proceed immediately. We already have the center to center for the room spaces. So let's set out this simple bungalow of a 2-bedroom where we have a bedroom 1 and bedroom 2, as well as kitchen and shower and toilet with a lobby space, and see how it will come out. Okay, great. So we have done this, and there's another setting that needs to be done before we proceed. The home story for our ground floor is ground floor level. Right, that's the home story, and it starts at 0. Then the top here says top link. Do we want it to be linked to the next story? If we have it linked to the next story, that means it will link to ceiling as the next story. But I don't want mine to be linked to that. I want it to go up because of the construction method that we use. So I said not linked, and if you do not link, it will not be 3 meters again, but 300. It means that my wall will pass up and the ceiling will be 300 below that end of the wall. So check out and we'll see how this plays out at the end of the day. So we've got this done now, and floor plan and section. How do we want the floor plan to be? We want it to show only on home story. And floor plan display, we want it to be what? Projected? Yes. No overhead. In some cases you might want to. Then you want to show projection to floor plan range. This is okay. And all these other ones are okay. We can leave it for now. Then model. Yes, we have to set the color for our walls. So we make, why I am clicking this so that all the colors could be the same. If I unclick this, I might have to change each of them separately, but I want everything to be the same color. So I change the wall to, maybe I'll take it to paint beige, sand beige. Okay, that's the color I'm choosing for my walls. Okay, and that's it. That's it for now. Classification and properties, we can always come back to set this one later, but for you to understand the basic drafting, let's hit the road. All right, now we have our wall ready and we can draw it with a 150 wall. So we click it up. What's the height of this wall from end to end? We have, rather from center to center, we have 5.4 meters. So let's zoom it up and draw the 5.4 meters. So if you click on the origin where I've clicked mine, first you move it closer. If you click on the origin, which is this point, and take your cursor upwards, you may have it inclined, but if you hold a shift, it will make it straight, and press R, it will enable the distance where you want to elongate it to. So you put the distance 5400 and you press enter, and that's it. You're at that point. So this wall is 5400. I'm not going to draw the wall again, but I'm going to offset these walls. All the vertical walls now are to be offset. So the next offset is 3750. Okay, that's the next offset. 3750. See that? So I click on this, Control D. Now if you do Control D, it means to drag, but I want to drag a copy, so you do Control D, Control. So I press my Control again and I find this positive sign which shows that I can drag a copy. So you click on it and hold a shift and press your R. It means that you are dragging a copy to a certain point. And when you press the R, you find that the distance is enabled and it's highlighted for you to plug in the distance. So the distance there is 3750. Enter. That's the offset. And we need to do the same thing again because the next one also is 3750. So Control D, Control, and you move it, Shift R, and you type 3750. Enter. And that's it. We've got the offset for the two spaces. Then the next one is 1350 and 1950. So Control D, Control, Shift R, 1350. Enter. Control D, Control, Shift. So you click and drag, Shift R, 1950 millimeters. So that's it. We are done with all the vertical walls. So we pick up the horizontal wall immediately so that we can hit to completion. So at this point, I'll move the sketch upwards so that it will be very visible while we are sketching. And I might also advise that let's reduce this so that we have to zoom our screen better. Okay. And Control D will drag this down. Remember, that's our sketch. So we are working with the sketch, keeping it side by side to draft it. You can see that this sketch was done with some level of precision, even though there was no precision tool used. It means that the architect who sketched it has a very high sense of scaling. Check it out. So now let's do the horizontal walls. We are done with vertical. So you can select your wall again if the wall is not selected, and you come to this point at the top and you see the tick. You click on that point. It means that you have snapped that point. And you click to the end. We've put that wall. So we select on that wall and offset downward. The first one is 3750. Control D, Control, Shift R. Then you type 3750. Enter. The next one is what? 1500. Control D, Control, click and drag, Shift R. 1500. Enter. And that is it. So if you've got this, you see that we have some projections out here. How do we trim that? Select, hold your shift down and you click outwards to select all the walls that you want to adjust. You can do that manually by holding shift down. You click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one way. The other way is hold your shift down, click out, and drag over the 4 of them, or the 5 walls. Is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay, now to adjust, you come up to your toolbox, or rather your menu box, which is up here, and you find adjust tool. To adjust, you have a shortcut of Control plus minus. So if I want to adjust this, I say Control and I press minus, and it's enabled. So I zoom to where I want to adjust it to. I can adjust it to the center line here, and that's it. You can also choose to adjust it to any point. You can also choose to cut it. whichever applies to you. But when we get to where we need to cut, I'll show you. You can also look at how it works. Adjust, you click out, hold your line for it to be straight. You see, you can adjust all of them at the same time, and you can also adjust by just clicking at this point. So that's it. Okay, so you got that. If you got it and you like it, and if you don't like this video this far, go ahead and like, possibly share with your colleagues, and drop a comment. Let me know how much you like this content. Then we proceed and cut off here. Remember, if you want to cut, you have to hold your control down. So look at the way I'm holding control. Yes, you go to your keyboard where you have the control, you press it and you see the scissor. Then you move your mouse to where you want to cut and you cut it off. We have two that we need to cut off, so I cut this one off as well as this. So that's three things that we've cut off. So the next thing for us to do is to offset to have our toilets and our kitchen set out. So we select the end wall. How did I say we select? If you remember, type it in the comments. How do you select? Type it in the comments. Let me see if you're following me. Okay, fine. To select is to hold your shift down. You hold your shift down, you click on the object where you want to select, and you have it highlighted once you click on it. So to drag a copy, tap in the comments. Let me see if you're following it. To drag a copy is Control D, Control. And once you do that, you see the plus sign showing. So if it's showing, you can go ahead and yes, you can go ahead and drag it. And when you drag it, you hold your shift and press R. When you press R, what does it do? It helps you offset it to a certain dimension. So where are we taking it to? We want to offset to create the toilet, and the toilet center to center is 1150. Enter. In to in is 1 meter. So you have the thickness of the wall 1150, and that's the same thing that we need for the next page. So we repeat that action again. Control D, Control, drag, Shift R, 1150, 1150, enter. That's it, and we have them ready, so we can cut off. So we have the toilet, we have the kitchen, and everything is ready. With this, we are done with our walls. For now, we can always come back and edit it. Remember that you are on ground floor level, which you are using to draw your ground floor plan, right? And this ground floor level is the tool that we are using to draw it is the wall tool. And the wall tool is a parametric component that is visible on other viewpoints. Like you can see it in your elevation, you can see it in your section, you can see it in your models, and as well the properties of it can be calculated. So if you want to do estimates, this wall now can give you an estimate of the total area that is wall, and you can divide it by the size of a block to be able to know the number of block that you will use for this project. All right, if you have followed me up to this point, then you are doing very well. We proceed to the next level, which is for us to confirm whether our dimensions are correct. Remember that we use center to center. So I am going to try to give us dimensions that are center to center too. All right, so dimensions, let's check this out. Click on this, click on this. This is not dimensioning, so I will come back to dimensioning. I'm just doing this to help you confirm and know that you are at the right point. So are we correct? Is that what we had as our sketch? 3,750, 3,750, 1,350, and 1,950. Are we correct? Yes, we are. And the other side we had, let's see whether we are correct all the way. Okay, this is just a confirmatory stuff, you know. Okay, we had 3,750 and 1,500, so we are correct. Okay, so we will come back to dimensions later. The next step of this is for us to put our doors. And remember, the doors that we had the room doors 900, kitchen door 900, toilet doors 750. So we have how many types of doors? The sizes, we have two different sizes of wall, the 900 and the 750 door. Yes, and all the doors that are here, you may choose to make it metal door, may choose to use it wooden door, depending on your choice. So we go to door tool by double clicking on this, and already we are at the interface. What do you expect from this? You preview positioning to see how the door appears. Now, seal is 0, not 100, so we change it to 0. While we confirm that the door sizes are okay. So we have the door 900, and the height of it is 100, which is equivalent to 7 feet for those who are using feet, while 900 is 3 feet. Okay, so what is next? The next thing is for us to preview the kind of door that we want. Yes, we need a hinge door, and I would just go down straight and choose a metal door, and that is it. If you want to use a wooden door, you can use it, but I'm choosing a metal door because the design showed that all the rooms were exposed to an open veranda. So it means that some level of security is required there. Okay, and if you have chosen the door, the next thing to do is to do the settings for the door. So what kind of panel do we need? How do you get to do the settings? Somewhere I click, you come to, if you click on here, you go to hinge door settings, hinge door settings. Then it will take you to the different styles. Choose any one that you like from the lot. You want a see-through door, or you want, okay, you can use this, and you can also use the blank one. Let's take this, which has a small view point, or you can also take a total blank wall, a blank door, as in solid core, and your hinge, any of this as you would want to use. So whatever you use, make sure that that is what is specified, and that is it. So it has settings, and all the settings are there. So this is it. You can give it a name. You can give it a custom name if you want to, but here I'm not doing that for now. Okay, not doing that for now. So just your hinge door, we've done this other one. Let's look at the next option for the door. What next? How it opens. The door is going to open in 2D as 90 in 3D. It's not going to be open. So when you look at the door in 3D, they will be closed, but on your floor plan, it will open at 90 degrees. You can also change it to open at 45 degrees, but whichever. And I want this door to appear detailed on the floor plan, so I will look for that setting and enable such. Okay, this is where we have the detail setting. And how do I want it? I want it to be full and for 3D. And this other one, we want it to be 50%, which is, sorry, the scale 1 to 50, which makes it more detailed. And I say, okay, all my 3 doors will be ready in a jiffy. So the next one is the positioning of the door. We take the center point because I want the door to be positioned at the center for this one, for this space. So center, yeah. While this, I take a hinge. If I come to this end and drop it here, it's not enough. And I have to move it out because of the architrave. So I move it out by 300 and select it by holding the shift button and clicking on it. Then Ctrl D will shift it, which will allow me to drag it. So if I drag it, I can press R because it's already on the wall. I don't need the shift. And I type 300, enter, and it moves by 300. And the same thing applies to that of the kitchen. I want to move it by 750. So after putting the door at the end there, because of this anchor point I chose, Ctrl D will help me drag it, and I'll shift it. I don't need to shift it, I'll just drag it and hold R, and what next? 750, enter, and that's it. So it means I can have maybe a 600 counter here, 600 counter here, and the same here. So it's a small kitchen for just 2 persons. This is a boys' quarter apartment. Now we move to door, and remember the door for the toilet is not going to be metal door, so we can go back to the normal door. Where is it? We take door and we change it to a solid core wooden door. We might also, no, not a solid core wooden door. We can use aluminum panel. So yeah, this is the toilet door. The options that we're having here, they're looking pretty beautiful. So anyone. So any of the options here can fly. Let's choose this one. Okay, so it's a laminated door. We might wish to, so you specify it as appropriate when the time comes. And the handle, we might want it to be an in lock, so we have a knob outside, and it's a jam lock when you get inside. So that's what we choose for this one. And I could say the detail level, we need to change it as we did for the other one. So okay, and this is done. We can put the 2 doors. Where do I want to? Not done yet. We change it to 750 as it was specified. Then change the hinge point. 1, and change the hinge point here. Okay, we are done with doors. Now, the next move is the window, and we are going to choose the window type that we want. So you move down to window tool. For your window tool, if you just click it, it will be there, but if you double click, you will have the option of going into the settings to see the type of windows. All right. Yes, we are in order. So we move it up, and we select the window that we need. What's the name of the window? Basic window would do for us. And what kind of basic window? Okay, I wouldn't take basic window. Let's go ahead and take sliding window. And we take a sliding window, 2 sash, yes. And the height of the window, 1.5, the opening size 1.5, the height to seal 600, means that's going to be a bit low. It doesn't matter. You may also want to use a 900 depending on your choice. So this is a design aspect now, but for drafting I use this, and that is it. Okay, and I would say, okay, you want to see how the window looks. So to see how the opening will be, you can slide this to the left or to the right. This is how it looks on the 3D. All right, this is how it looks when it is going to enter the rendered view. So that being done, I can click on OK, and we insert the windows. I'll take on the center point for these windows, and when you are dropping your window, ensure that you have the sun sign showing at that point that you find the tick where my cursor is. The sun symbol should be outside, because that is the side that is out. Then you drop it. The same applies to this one. You zoom it, click and drop. What next? The same here. Put it at the center. And the window for the kitchen will be different, because we will have the height of the window to be 900, and the height is 1200, so that the seal or our counter will not interfere with it. And the opening size, we might have it let's use 900, so that we can use the same 900 kind of size of window for other. Are we together? Yes, I think you're following me. Okay, next level is for us to put the toilet window, and the toilet window has the seal level at 500, and the window level is 600. We maintain the width to be 900, so that we have a certain level of homogeneity. So we come here, we click at the edge. We want this to be at that point, the edge. Okay, you can always drag this one, Control D, Control, drag a copy, Control D, Control. So we drag the copy, and we've got our windows position. What's the next thing to do? The next thing is to put an opening. We have an opening here, right? And there are two ways that we can represent this. We can cut it off and put a beam, or we can just insert an opening. Let's try inserting the opening, and this opening is rectangular, and we are looking at the seal level is 0, and the height is 2.42400, and the width is 3600. Let's try it and see what we have. Okay, this is where opening shows. Okay, I would rather choose to use another option, because this is not giving me what I want. So I'll take a door instead, and make it. I'll take a door instead and make it. What kind of door? Let's see. What kind of door opening? Yeah. So we take this and come down to. Sorry, this is not this wall. I was wondering. Okay. So we take a door, and we can just do empty door opening. So we create that place as an empty door opening, and we choose a rectangular opening, right? and that opening means that it has no door inside. All right, so we do the necessary settings by going to this point. We said it's going to be 3600, while the height is what? 2400, and the height to seal is 0. So that's been done, and if we want the opening to show lines, we can come to the opening settings and look at the features, what we need to enable. Let's see. Okay, those are the different options. Let's look at any one that we may need. So we want to enable we show the contour, wall contour lines. We put it on inside and outside. So for the contour line inside, how do we want it to be? Are we together? Okay. So we drop that wall here. Now, something is pending here. The contour line for the wall needs a bit of setting. So we set the contour line here. We open it up to floor plan and section, and symbol line, we make it to be dotted line. We say okay, and we are, what is outstanding there is for us to override object attribute. So that's it. So being a beam, it shows it's overhead. So we have enabled that option. Now we can cut off this one. So that's how the boys quarter is open. Here is the lobby. So with this, we can name the spaces and remove the sketch. So let's quickly name the spaces by going to our documents tool and move to text. Select after you've clicked that, you select the fonts you want to use. Any font you choose is okay, but I'll take Eras. Eras is letter E. Eras Demi. Eras Demi is okay for me, and I'll make it 0.2. So this is bedroom 1, caps, bedroom. I can easily click on this and move it to the next point, and rename this bedroom 2, and the same thing, Ctrl D, Ctrl, and move it to the next point and call this kitchen. So then we have the shower and the toilet. So SHO for shower, and WC. Remember, we have not furnished yet. In the next video I'm going to show you how to furnish this simple unit that we have just created. So you move this by selecting them and moving inside. Okay. You have not yet put slabs here, but let's try that. I've deleted the sketch because we have successfully drafted the plan. So we now need to work with this now. We no longer need the sketch. You can call this veranda or lobby. Yep. So that's it. Is it making sense to you? Okay, so we go ahead straight to the slab so that we can round up this session. The slab here, you go to the slab tool. Once you click on the slab tool and you double click, you have the generic slab, but you know this is a composite, so we take the basic. The basic one allows you to change the properties, and we just need a slab that is structural concrete, which is already here. Okay, so we have it structural concrete, and we change this one to, you know, let's change this structural concrete slab. Okay, we can always come to change our colors, but let's use our default, okay, so that we don't alter properties as they are set already. So the thickness of our slab is 150 millimeters, and it's going to take reference from the floor, the top of that floor on ground floor level. Okay, so we say okay, and click on this. See the option that I'm using. I'm not going to use this one, but I use this because it's a rectangular slab. So I'll click on this edge and I'll take it to the other end. That's it. The slab has been inserted. What next do I need to do? I need to cut off the areas that will be stepped down. So I select this slab. How do I do that? You can click on this edge and take on the option subtract. And if I take on that option subtract, I come to this front point, click it up, and remember that we have this rectangular enabled. So I come to this edge. So this lobby is going to be, I think we should rename this place veranda, not lobby. Lobby should be the one in the toilet areas. Great, do you agree with me? So if you do, rename. The veranda. Okay, wait a second. While veranda is VERR. Okay, so we are Did I say we should change the other one to lobby? So this becomes our lobby. Okay, so if you have got this, we are together. Okay, so we also need a step down in the toilet area. So I've selected this, and how do I remove that? Come to this edge, the node, and click on it. You see the options that we have here. We have subtract, we have addition. So we take the subtraction, which is already engaged, and hold your space bar down and click on that space. The same applies. You click on here and it enables. Hold your space bar down and it applies. So we have subtracted what we needed to subtract. Now we need to do some addition. So let's go to our slab setting again. Now we still have a thickness of 150, but we want it to be 150 below. So if we have it 150 below, which is minus 150. We will have this as 450. So let's insert that again. So we can insert this slab by coming in here and hold the space bar and clicking into that space. So we've inserted those. The same thing applies here. What is the next action that we should be taking here? You know, we have the substructure components, but we are not going to deal with that in this video. We are not going to deal with that in this video. Okay, having added that, we will go ahead and add our roof. Remember that all these things that we are doing, they have already been built up, and that's why I'm taking time to put the settings. But I don't want to distract you. There is a place I didn't find a window, so I'm going to put the window there. I'll pick up this window in our kitchen and drop here. But we'll do a little bit of change in settings to change this to 1500 and no, not 1500, 600 and 1500. Yes, that's it. So we can also do that to pick the property and do that to the front side. So it means that we have a lobby that is well lit. Great. In fact, we might also want to make this area to be closed up. Anyway, it's design. Anyhow you want to do it that is best for you is appropriate. But for me, this is the sketch that we use to work. Okay. The next thing here is for us to insert. We are not using a column for this one, but in the next video we'll deal with the column. So we move straight to how we can insert the roof. So I select the roof tool, and what kind of roof do we want to use? I want to use a gable roof, but you know, this is a simple method for us to use any kind of roof. I've selected the roof and I've come to this option and make it a simple not composite but just simple frame, and double clicking on the roof, we will set the thickness of this to be what, 150, and flush this end straight. You don't know the okay, the angle we use 30 degrees and 30 degrees, no, let's use 25 degrees so it doesn't look too steep. And we change this, enable this and change it all to wood pine, and the top of this we'll give it Spanish roof. Okay, now we've gotten that, and we want the current story for it to be the roof. Okay, we put it at the ceiling level, but we want it to show on one story up. So the height from this level is 300, not 3000. Remember, our wall was 300. So if our ceiling level is at 3, we need to go a bit higher so that it's touched at the wall. So those are the little calculations that you need to understand while you are doing this. And if you have questions on how to get that done, let me know so that I can explain them to you. So I want it to be on home story and one story up. Okay, and how would it be? It will be outline only. Outline only. Yep. Or projected. Let's see how it appears. So we come to ceiling level and we open our trace. Take note of this. You know, as we move to the upper level, being the ceiling room level, you couldn't find anything again. You cannot find your floor plan, so you don't know what to do. So you come and click on the trace, or you can just do Alt F2 on your keyboard, and it will show what is. If you do the settings well, choose reference. Mine is set at below current story. You can also set for it to show upper story. If you add something up and you want to adjust the bottom part. and this is always good when you're trying to clear up clashes. So you take the below and we are good. And remember, we've already done the settings for the roof, so we select on this option and we click here. Okay, so the option here is projected with overhead. Let's see whether we are in order. I don't think we were in order. Okay, I see where the stuff, the issue came from. So let's remove the roof and go back to the floor plan and insert it. We said that we want our current home story to be this, and it should be 300 above home story. Okay, and now so that's it. We have been able to put a roof over this building. So a quick view, you need to add up a slab in front of this point so that somebody can easily walk into this building. And if we have this as one step, Shift R 300, remember you need to set this appropriately. If this is, let's check the settings, match this property, let's check the setting and take it a step down. So if the thickness is 150 and it is 150, so this one will be minus 300 down, minus 300 down, and we do another one that will be minus 450. So let's take this one again, minus 45. Okay, so let's look at what we got. Control F3. Now we do not have the walls that take us down, but I'll show you how to impute that. You can select all the external walls, or you can just come down here and come to your trace and change to above, then run a wall here that will start from grade and go up. How do we do that? This is already an option. So we select this option, and the thickness of our wall is still the same as it were, but we need the height of the wall to start from 0, and it should be linked. It should not be linked, rather. So it's from 0 to 450. So 450 is the base of that slab. I hope it is clear. Okay, at this point we have inserted that. So these are also major foundation walls, if I'm not wrong. That's one. That's another one. This is another one. But remember, this is to structural engineers. Okay, at this point we are doing a bungalow, so you need to determine this. You need to determine this. So that's it. You may not need to dig this one, it's too close. All you need to do is to put a hardcore and fill it up. So let's look at it again on the 3D view. So you see what we have. I can now say let's come over here and change the color of these walls. I like white when it comes to recessed walls, so we can change the color of this to paint white. Where is paint white? Where is paint white? Glossy. Okay, so that's it. And one more thing, you can come to your orbit to rotate this. I see that we have an open gable end. That was intentional, so that I will show you how to close that end. So we select this wall and rotate again. So you can click on this wall and drag it higher by using this option of stretching the height. So if you've stretched the height, the next thing to do is to use the solid element operation. Go to your design, look for solid element operation, click on it, get the targeted element which is already selected, and you now get the operator, which is this one too. Select this as the operator and leave every other thing the way it is and execute. If you execute, you are saying the subtraction should be with upward extrusion. Okay, we got some things not right, so let's undo the action. Okay, we're going back to take it right again. Let's take it right. You select both of them, stretch it to be above the roof or to come up to the roof level. Then go to design tool, or rather go to design menu, not tool this time around, design menu, and solid element operation. Get target element and also click out, then hold your shift, click on the roof, get operator. Then the option to use is subtraction with upward extrusion. When you do that and say execute, it will extrude and remove the top part, and you now have your clean gable end. That is it. So you see that? So we have a simple bungalow with that gable end. So that's it. This video is actually for beginners. So the next video that will be done will now deal with those who have some basic skills, but for this one, for those who do not have any skill. So that's it for now. If you like this video, go ahead and express what you like about the video. If you like me too as a person, go ahead and express that. Thank you for following up to this point, and I want to say a very big congratulations to you, because you are on your way to mastering how to use ArchiCAD. This is ArchiCAD 23 beginner guide, and I just showed you how to do your drafting and modeling. Very easy. Thank you for watching this video up till this now, and at this point I have to say bye